When it comes to building the strongest mindset, most people wait for motivation to show up. But the truth is, motivation is unreliable. Good investment. It's like waiting for perfect weather before you go outside. You'll spend most of your life stuck indoors. Discipline is what separates the people who say they want change from the ones who actually make it happen. Everything makes a good investment. Discipline means doing the work whether you feel like it or not, showing up when it's inconvenient, and sticking to your plan when the excitement has worn off. That's where real strength is built. The strongest mindset doesn't chase feelings. It creates feelings. It creates consistency. Now, let's be honest, discipline is uncomfortable. It means trading short-term pleasure for long-term gain, and most people won't do that. But discomfort is the price of growth. Every single time you step outside your comfort zone, you're teaching your brain that you can handle more. You're raising your tolerance for challenge, stress, and pressure. That's why the gym feels impossible at first, but becomes second nature after months of showing up. The pain that felt unbearable eventually becomes routine. And the same principle applies to every area of life, career, finances, relationships. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. But here's the thing, a strong mindset isn't about controlling everything. You can't control the economy, the market, investment, or what other people say or do. What you can control is your effort, your reaction, and your choices. The more you focus on what's within your control, the less anxious and distracted you become. Energy wasted on things you can't change is energy stolen from the things you can. Strong people don't waste time arguing with reality. They adapt, adjust, and double down on what's in their power. A good investment. That's what creates resilience. And finally, the strongest mindset isn't built overnight. It's not a single breakthrough moment. It's the compounding effect of small wins stacked every single day. Good investment. Waking up on time, finishing the workout you didn't want to do, sticking to your budget when it would have been easier to spend. That's how you build mental strength brick by brick. The small victories compound just like interest, and over time, they transform you into someone unshakable. It's not glamorous, and most people won't notice in the beginning, but give it a year, 5 years, good investment. 10 years, you'll be unrecognizable. So if you want to build the strongest mindset, don't wait for motivation. Don't hide from discomfort. Stop wasting time on things you can't control, and never underestimate the power of small wins compounding over time. Force yourself to do these things daily, and eventually, investment. It won't feel like forcing anymore. It will feel like who you are. When people talk about building a strong mindset, they often think it starts with motivation. And sure, motivation feels great in the beginning. It's that rush of excitement when you set a new goal, when you imagine the end result, when everything feels possible. But the problem is motivation doesn't last. It fades the moment life gets inconvenient. Invest the moment you're tired, stressed, or tempted with something easier. If you rely on motivation, you'll find yourself constantly restarting, constantly making promises you can't keep, constantly wondering why you never follow through. The truth is, the people who actually build unshakable mindsets are the ones who stop waiting to feel motivated and instead commit to discipline. Discipline is boring. Everything makes a good always feel good. It means doing the work whether you're in the mood or not. But discipline is the foundation that allows you to keep moving forward long after the initial spark has burned out. Think about it like this. Motivation is like a match. It flares up quickly. It gives you a burst of energy, but it burns out just as fast. Discipline is the firewood you keep stacking on top, piece by piece. Investment to keep the flame alive. Without discipline, your match is useless. With it, you create a fire that can burn for a lifetime. And that's why discipline is so powerful. It builds trust with yourself. Investment. Every time you show up and do what you said you were going to do, even when you don't feel like it, you're proving to yourself that you can be counted on. That creates confidence. That builds momentum. Investment. That gives you strength no motivation in the world could ever replace. The strongest people aren't the ones who are constantly hyped up, always excited, always motivated. They're the ones who have mastered the art of showing up day after day, rain or shine, energy or no energy, because they know the real results come from consistency. And if you want to build the strongest mindset, you need to stop asking yourself, do I feel like it today? And start telling yourself, this is just what I do. That simple shift from waiting for motivation to forcing discipline is what changes everything. Most people avoid discomfort at all costs, and that's exactly why they stay stuck. The reality is that discomfort is the signal of growth. When something feels hard, when it pushes you beyond what feels normal, investment. That's the moment where your mind and body are actually getting stronger. Think about the first time you step into a gym. Every exercise feels like a struggle. Your muscles ache. Investment, and you wonder if you can even finish the workout. But if you keep showing up, what once felt impossible slowly becomes routine, and then eventually it becomes easy. That's the proof that discomfort is not your enemy. It's the very thing that reshapes you into someone stronger than you were yesterday. The problem is that most people confuse comfort with safety. Men, they stay in the job they hate because it feels familiar. They avoid taking risks because it feels secure, and they cling to routines that don't challenge them because it's easier than change. Investment. But comfort zones are deceptive. They make you feel protected, but in reality, they're cages that prevent you from discovering what you're capable of. Every breakthrough in life happens on the other side of discomfort. The first time you take a risk on yourself, the first time you face rejection and keep going, the first time you try something new and fail but learn from it, that's where resilience is built. And the truth is, discomfort never goes away. You just get better at handling it. What used to intimidate you eventually feels normal, and then new levels of discomfort take its place. That's how progress works. You don't become unshakable by avoiding the hard things. You become unshakable by leaning into them. The strongest mindset is forged in the fire of discomfort, not in the ease of convenience. Every single time you choose discomfort, instead of retreating to what's easy, you're building another layer of strength, another layer of resilience, another layer of discipline. So if you truly want to grow, stop running from discomfort and start seeking it out. Step into situations that challenge you. Push yourself past the point where you'd normally quit and embrace the uneasiness that comes with change. Investment. Because the very things that make you uncomfortable today are the same things that will make you unstoppable tomorrow. Investment. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to build a strong mindset is because they waste so much energy on things completely outside of their control. They stress about what people think of them. They worry about the economy. They obsess over every headline and every piece of bad news, and they allow those things to dictate their mood and their actions. The problem is you can't change any of that. Investment, you don't get to decide what people say about you. You don't control market cycles, and you can't stop setbacks from happening, but you do control how you respond, where you put your focus. Investment. And I think the actions you take every single day. The strongest mindset is built by learning to separate what you can influence from what you can't, and then putting all of your energy into what's in your hands. Think about how much more powerful you become when you stop chasing things you can't control. Instead of worrying about whether opportunities will come, you prepare yourself so that when they do, you're ready. Investment. Instead of complaining about your circumstances, you look for ways to work with what you have. Instead of getting stuck in blame, you take responsibility for your effort and your choices. That's what creates progress. It's not about having perfect conditions. It's about making progress regardless of conditions. And when you develop that mindset, you stop feeling like life is happening to you and start realizing that life is happening through you. The people who thrive aren't the ones with the easiest circumstances. The ones who mastered the ability to control their reactions, their focus, and their consistency. They know setbacks are part of the process, but they refuse to let setbacks control the outcome. When something goes wrong, they adjust. When they're criticized, they keep moving. When things feel uncertain, they stick to the fundamentals they know will move them forward. That's where true strength lies. So if you want to build the strongest mindset, stop giving power to the things you can't change. Pour your time, your effort, and your focus into the things that are within your reach. Because the moment you master that shift, you take back control of your life. And no setback, no challenge, no outside force can break you. When people think about building the strongest mindset, they often imagine it comes from some huge life-changing event or a single breakthrough moment. But the truth is, it doesn't work that way. Real mental strength is built through the small, good investment, almost invisible wins you collect every single day. It's in the choice to wake up when your alarm goes off instead of hitting snooze. It's in finishing that workout even though your body is telling you to quit. It's in sticking to your budget when it would be easier to just swipe the card and deal with the consequences later. These moments don't feel significant in the moment, but they compound over weeks, months, and years. Those small wins build a foundation so strong that it becomes almost impossible to break. It's just like investing. Investment You don't build wealth overnight with one lucky trade. You build it by consistently putting money in, letting it grow, and watching compounding work in your favor. The same principle applies to your mindset. Every disciplined choice is like a deposit into your mental bank account. Every time you force yourself to follow through, you're stacking another brick, strengthening the structure piece by piece. At first, the progress is slow. It feels like nothing is changing. But then after enough repetition, the results start to show, and you realize how powerful compounding really is. The key is to stop underestimating the power of consistency. Skipping one workout, breaking one promise to yourself, or taking one shortcut might not seem like a big deal, but those small decisions add up too. Just like compounding works for you, it can also work against you. Every time you choose the easier path, you're teaching your mind that giving in is acceptable. Over time, makes a good investment that weakens your discipline and makes it harder to stay consistent. That's why the small daily choices matter far more than people realize. Building the strongest mindset doesn't come from doing something extraordinary once. It comes from doing the ordinary things consistently until they become second nature. That's a good investment. That's how you transform discipline into identity, how you turn effort into habit, and how you create the kind of mental toughness that carries you through anything. The strongest mindset is never built in a single day. It's built day after day in the quiet, unseen choices that eventually make you unshakable.